This is HSC Option 2, the third key idea. We're on the second dot point, and I'm answering the question on the right-hand side of the syllabus here. How does the coverage given to particular sports reflect which sports are valued and which ones are not? Before listening to this recording, it probably would have been a good idea that you've already listened to the recording for the Student Learn About section on the left-hand side of the syllabus, and that recording is available on YouTube also. As you would know from previous dot points in the syllabus, that sport is a huge business in this country, and media companies such as TV or Channel 9, when they show rugby league, show sport because they believe they can make a profit, and they make profit by selling advertising space during the game in the example of rugby league. So every time a try is scored, they will go to an advertising break from which Channel 9 make a significant amount of money through companies such as McDonald's, who are prepared to advertise their product during sport. As a result of this, media companies show the sports that they believe that will generate the highest TV ratings, because sports that generate the highest TV ratings are the ones that maximise their revenue through advertising. So when it comes to Australia, the sports that generate the highest TV ratings in this country and therefore maximise the revenue for the media companies, in Queensland and New South Wales at least, is rugby league, while in Melbourne and other states, Victoria and other states in Australia, it's the sport of AFL. And during the summer months, it's cricket which dominates the media, as it is extremely popular in every single state around Australia. Newspapers are no different to what happens on TV. They're all about selling advertising space as well in the actual newspaper itself. So that will pretty much mirror what's on TV. They too will dedicate space in their paper to the sports that are popular on TV and popular in society. So I've just logged on to the Daily Telegraph, which is Sydney's most popular newspaper, to their sporting section on their website. And this will give you an idea of what I was just talking about before. The main stories here from the top, we have a rugby league story here. Another rugby league story, which is not so much about the game itself, but player behaviour, but it's still a rugby league story. And again, this third story, it's another rugby league story about player behaviour. The fourth story which they got here, again, another rugby league story. It's not until the fifth story down that we get a story that's something other than rugby league, cricket or AFL. It's a sport about V8 motor racing, which is also reasonably popular in this country. Some of the more minor sports over here get a show on this side of the website, but there's no doubt if you have a look at the most popular sports, they then characterise it in sections, and rugby league is the first one that gets a run, followed by cricket. So that's the way it works in the newspapers. We're certainly in Sydney at least, where rugby league dominates, followed by cricket. As a result of those three sports dominating the media landscape, there are certain sports that therefore suffer if they're not part of the big three. And two of the sports that particularly suffer in this country is the sport of basketball and hockey. Now, the sport of basketball has a national competition called the NBA, where teams from every state participate in, but there's growing concern about the future of the NBA because of the lack of media coverage that it is receiving. And here's an example of a headline that was in the paper in April of this year, where former basketball great Andrew Gaze talks about his concern for the future of basketball simply for the lack of media coverage that sport receives. Now, another sports that suffer in this country is soccer and netball in particular. When you think about netball, it is the second, in terms of numbers, these two sports are the two biggest in the country. So when we're talking about people who play sport regularly on a weekend, soccer and netball are by far the most popular games in this country. But that doesn't translate into the amount of coverage given to those sports in the media. And some people have reflected on this, that perhaps the media are not actually showing what people are truly interested in. So in terms of thinking about some critical thinking opportunities with this particular question, are the media reflecting the sports that are truly valued in this country? When it comes to soccer and netball, I think you could make a pretty strong argument that in fact they are not valuing the sports that are that are popular in this country. One of the recent benefits for these minor companies has been the pay TV company Foxtel, which has about 5 channels dedicated to sport. And having 5 channels going 24 hours a day gives many of the minor sports opportunity to get some airtime. So on Foxtel, sports such as netball, basketball and hockey do get a go. But what you have to understand with that, it's not what you call free to air, which is what all sports want. Free to air, which means it goes into every single person's home across the country, not just the people who have got enough money to be able to have Foxtel.